friends, Allison back again to share with you a new page in my October daily. This page is a filler page because I realized after making yesterday's layout, I left a gap in my album. One page should have something on the front side of it, and I missed that when I was crafting. So today's process video is just filling that gap. I pulled out a Close to My Heart stamp that I have had in my stash for quite a while. It is an older Christmas stamp set, and it has a sweater in it, and I thought it was perfect for an October daily album because at least here in my neck of the woods, when October rolls around, it usually means sweater weather. And so what I did was I stamped the background first. There is a phrase in the stamp set that says something along the lines of "Don we now our ugly sweaters," which is kind of tongue-in-cheek. It kind of made me giggle when I saw it, and I was like, that's perfect. So I stamped it repeatedly on an angle using Close to My Heart toffee ink. I showed you that at the beginning of the video. Once that is done, I am going to stamp that sweater image 3 times using those 3 colors that I just showed you. Those are all Close to My Heart inks as well. So I'm using pomegranate, nectarine, and saffron ink. I thought they'd work well for a fall theme because they fit the color scheme, so I chose those ones. And I'm using my little Misty as well to stamp the sweater. I'm going to have to stamp them over a few times just to be sure the entire image is filled in really nicely. You'll see after this first stamp that it didn't quite work as well as it could have. So I stamped each of the sweaters a couple of times. I saved you the pain of having to sit through that and watch it. So you'll see me stamp this one. I think I do it like 4 times. And then I cut to the next part of my video. Once that is done, there is actually little stamps for the cuff, both cuffs on the sweater, and then the waistband as well, so they look like they are like knitted. So I stamped those in espresso ink. You see it at the top of the screen on the video right now. I will be using that to stamp those images on each of the sweaters, and then I'm going to fussy cut them out. I just used some scrap white cardstock that I had in my scrap bins, and they are going to be adhered to this page, which by the way was cut to 6 by 8 inches with foam squares. In between the sweaters, at this point I wasn't really entirely sure what direction I wanted to go in. I was thinking at first of putting the sweaters in a line across the middle of the page and then decorating it somehow, but they were slightly too large. I didn't want to cut any portions of the sweaters off, so I changed my mind and switched the orientation. So they're going in a vertical line now down the page instead of a horizontal line. I also was thinking originally that I was going to keep it in rainbow order, so red, orange, yellow. In the end, I didn't stick with that either. I started with yellow in the center, and then the red and the orange will be on either side of it, top and bottom. I was trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do at this point. I had said that just a moment ago. I was thinking of layering more stamping over top of the sweaters, but as I was trying to figure this out in my brain, I actually decided to stamp the sentiments or the greetings in between each of the sweaters. There's only 2 sentiments that I wanted to use. So I used the "Don we now our ugly sweaters" stamp set again. And then I used a smaller one that says "So ugly, it's awesome." And that was it. Match made in heaven. It was perfect for me. And then I also found some wood veneer that I had in my stash. Also retired Close to My Heart. I found a heart, and it is going to be glued to the yellow sweater in the center. But right now I am figuring out the stamping and the placement of the sweaters. The stamping is going to be done in black ink this time, just so that they show up against the toffee background. The stamp that I used that says "So ugly it's awesome" is actually really quite small and delicate, so it's a little bit harder to read and hard to see on screen. But in real life, you can see it just fine, and it isn't that hard to read. I do try to show you that in my close-ups coming up at the end of the video, just to kind of show you that it's not hard to read. That brings me to the end of this page. I did think about inking the edges of this layout as well in more toffee ink, just to kind of give it a more of a rustic feel. I decided against that. I'm just erasing the pencil lines that I made for myself just to help me keep everything straight. I'm adding adhesive to the back of, actually the front of the page, that is going to be going into my album. There are some bits of paper that hang off and show where I don't want them to show, so I just trim those off and I'm done this video. I hope you enjoyed my video today. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up and a like. And if you've never tried an October daily album before, like I haven't, I encourage you to try it. Do something different and you may be surprised at the outcome. Quite honestly, I'm having so much fun putting this album together. I'm sitting here wondering why I didn't do it sooner. If you'd like to see more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell so that you're notified every time I post new videos. And here are the close-ups. Thanks, my friends, for joining me. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I'll be back again soon with more creative inspiration. Bye, friends.